21. I like the repeating numbers. It's fine. Leave me alone. I murdered a fish today.
And you're going to kill this recording.
No, listen, it's the school fish, though. Like, it would be great if I had one classroom, but I have this whole entire school. It's the school pet.
Mm.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of Dungeons & Degrees. My name's Adrian.
And I'm Alex.
And we have a returning guest, Eric Silver!
I'm here. I'm ready to talk. Let's do it.
Heck yes. We're going to talk about some... It's been in the news. It's been on the TikTok. It's been around. Wizards fucking up. More specifically being, one... racist, but also we're going to talk about some anti-Semitism that's in the game that can be changed, that we want to see some change in.
Woo!
Yes, the hard-hitting things. You come here to feel good and make some changes.
We're going to make some jokes about stuff while we're upset about what's happening. That's my promise.
It's a defense mechanism. What can I say?
We're going to defense mechanism all over these serious topics, I'll tell you that much.
Yes, for sure. We definitely are. I mean, that's how we get through the trauma.
Yeah.
That people think is so okay to be, like, so blazing about. Just like, yeah, hate symbol.
I don't know if you're on this part of the TikTok, but I'm on the, like, let's make better Jewish jokes than, like, Dave Chappelle could ever. And it's nothing but beautiful, beautiful... just beautiful gold. I don't see, now that sounds anti-Semitic that I was saying it's beautiful gold.
Oh no.
Jokes. They're absolutely gorgeous, and if I could remember any of them, I would say them. But if you're not on that part of TikTok, I feel so bad for you, because it's just, they're so much better than, like, dick bags. It's fine.
Do you know, like, there are some places where I want to travel, right? Where I feel intimidated because there's no, like, English accessibility, right? Mm-hmm. Like, in South Korea, a lot of people speak English. In a lot of European countries, a lot of people speak English. But I feel like if I went to Japan, or if I went to a lot of Middle Eastern countries, there isn't a lot of English, so I would be very lost. That's how I feel about TikTok, is like, I don't have a passport, or I don't know the language to go there. Like, I have my Tumblrees, which I'm keeping over here, so I'm glad it exists. And I like, when I hear about things happening on TikTok, I'm like, it's so good that Mars is agreeing with Earth on this issue, right? It's just a totally other planet. So you saying that, I'm like, I'm so happy the Martians have the same issues that I do. It's wonderful.
Yeah, listen, we are the whole universe, the whole solar system is healing all at one time. And unfortunately, there are some parts of it that just persist in being awful. But
we'll just call them Uranus.
Nice.
A good anus joke, dude.
Nice. Yeah, dude.
Done.
This is just going to be the whole podcast, okay?
Speaking of asses and anuses, let's talk about Wizards of the Coast. I did it.
Let's talk about the liches. Gosh, they call it phylacteries, but we could definitely use a different word, and I think it's reliquaries. Did I switch them up?
No, I think that's true. Phylacteries are the thing that are currently right. Liches. I can't follow all this stuff. I just tune it out. I think it's important to start before we get started. Is like defining what is Wizard of the Coast and how it fits into a current corporate landscape. And please forgive me because I've done all this research because I did a different podcast episode about this specifically. Is like, so Hasbro, the big company that puts out all the toys and the board games, they own Wizard of the Coast, which owns Magic the Gathering and Dungeons and Dragons, which are like sub brands within it. Like, it's the game, but also you got to remember, like, a company exists that's called that. So it's like when we talk about Dungeons and Dragons, it's the Dungeons and Dragons company. And I don't know if this is true necessarily in like if you're looking up their charter, but it's like there is the Dungeons and Dragons company or the people who work at Dungeons and Dragons who make the Dungeons and Dragons game. And that's what I think is really complicated about this whole thing. When you put out an official book from Dungeons and Dragons, you think, wow, this is coming out of the fucking ether and it's official D&D lore, right? Whether this is like the player's handbook or any like the adventures that came out, like, or like Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, like that comes from the official stuff. But remember, like I heard this today, like a corporation is just a bunch of guys at work. So it's just a bunch of people doing stuff. Like, they're just as much people as you are. And for some reason, they want to convince us that the shit that they make is more better than any of the other stuff anyone else can make just because they're inside of a building in Seattle being approved by the same 3 white dudes who've been approving the same shit for years. So no matter how many people they hire to write these things and how many consultants they say that they have to qualify all the fucking racial shit that they can't figure out because, again, it's the same white dudes doing the same shit, it's not going to change because it's the same people doing the same stuff. Like, there was a book that came out this year that was, like, more queer-friendly and, like, more racially diverse, that had, like, more adventures, blah, blah, blah. But it's, like, it's only under the approval once it's, like, no, this is good for the corporation. This is good for us. And it's just, like, the not being able to differentiate what comes from a company and what comes from the game is only to the benefit of the company as they ask for you $50 2 times to buy a book in print and a book digitally. Also interesting to know, D&D Beyond was a different company that they bought recently. Which is wild. Like someone else was fucking doing online shit, and D&D's like, no, this is ours now. No, it's like it was always ours. Like, they didn't create that product; they bought it. And like, I just don't think the company knows what they're doing, and they're trying to profit off of it as if it was, let's say, Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter. Like, they're trying to make movies about it. They're trying to make video games about it. That's happening next year. Baldur's Gate 3, the D&D movie with all the hot people in it. It's just trying to tell us that, no, Dungeons & Dragons is IP. It's not a game system. It's all the books we make, all the toys we make, and all the movies and video games, all the media we make, co-opting all just fucking pastiche of fantasy terms that are vaguely associated with Dungeons and Dragons, some of which they just straight up stole from Lord of the Rings. There was a fucking lawsuit by the Tolkien estate back in the 80s telling them to stop it. Because literally they told them that they can't use some words and can't. So, like, I don't know what they're trying to do.
I just pulled up an article because I was like, let me just, like, look. And the first thing that comes up is 2 days ago, Wizards of the Coast says Dungeons and Dragons is under-monetized. So already they're pulling in D&D Beyond, pulling purchasable cosmetic dice, avatars, and content, and that we are serving 20% of the Dungeons and Dragons marketplace because it's just geared towards DMs, which is whatever 20% of the population. That's so absolutely wild.
Can I tell you where that came from? Can I tell you where that came from? Because we're releasing an episode about this on Games and Feelings. Amanda, my wife and CEO and former finance person, broke all this down for me. It's incredibly fucking ridiculous. So, a little while ago, Bank of America has a bunch of people there who are like, oh, you should buy these stocks. You should sell these stocks, advising internally within the bank and also the financial sector. They released a paper saying Hasbro's actually fucking up. They're printing too many magic cards and devaluing the thing that exists. We're taking this from a buy to a sell. Huge fucking deal that they're doing this. They're saying this company, which we originally said was good, actually it's bad. Then they did a quote-unquote fireside chat, which was investor-focused, talking about their business plan, about actually why things are good, actually. And that's where this stuff is coming from, Alex. Like, from this 45-minute talk to investors. They said that the brand was under-monetized, and the way that they're going to do it is by turning into a 4-quadrant what do they call it? A 4-quadrant media, which means movies, video games, books, and toys. Those are the 4 quadrants, which is what they're doing. They're going to continue this by whatever one D&D is. Are you two are video game people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. So what is the new
monetization?
What's the new hotness right now in video games?
Microtransactions.
Yeah, dude, fucking microtransactions. Battle passes. What is Dungeons and Dragons turning into with 1D&D? They're turning it into a fucking battle pass. And we're already seeing that now. If they're going to monetize it, there's also some stuff going around about the open gaming license, which allows third-party creators to make stuff within like the community of D&D. So like when someone sells like, oh, I made some classes because Dungeons and Dragons won't make it, now they're going to have to be like fucking registered in D&D Beyond by Wizards of the Coast to be able to do it. That's coming to come out in early 2023. We're going to see what it is. But they posted something about that today outlining what people are going to do. They're going to have to accept the license. They're going to have to like report what they're making and how much they're making, and they have to publish like a little badge in all their shit saying they're a Dungeons and Dragons creator. So like we're going battle pass, friends. 1D&D is turning into games as service, and it doesn't make any sense because there's no there's no game there, right? Like on its basic, let's talk about Fortnite, right? Battle pass. I'm going to play Fortnite. I want to play as Goku. I want to play as Midoriya. I want to play as Mr. Beast, you know? But, like, we're playing the game. The game is the game. I like playing Fortnite with my friends. I love looking like my favorite anime boys. This is right? Mm-hmm. That's it. Let's even talk about Marvel Snap, right? I like playing Marvel Snap. I like Marvel.
I love that.
I like Marvel.
I want variants of my cards. Boom, right? You are staying and wanting to look like you want to look when you're playing the game. Mm-hmm. What does Dungeons and Dragons think they are? They're a tabletop RPG. They're a skeleton for storytelling. There's no meat on the bones. The meat on the bones is what you do at your table. So are they going to try to sell you like fucking skins for your VTT tokens within D&D Beyond, but you're only able to do that because 6th edition or whatever they're going to turn 5th into it is going to be only online based, so they're going to funnel everyone there, and because now they own D&D Beyond, that's the plan. I also have no fucking idea where they got that 20% number, Alex, because that like is that just an assumption or an averaging that most tables are 4-player tables plus a DM, and the DM buys the book and shares it with all their friends. Like, that's why it's under monetized. Like, they're not even a good company, which is what I want to get at here. They're not even doing company shit. They're just following whatever this like trend of gaming. Mm-hmm. Now, put this right on the fucking nose. The president of Dungeons and Dragons. Her name is Cynthia Williams. She used to work at Microsoft in the Xbox division. Who do you think knows shit about how to make money out of video games? Someone who used to work at Xbox. Mm-hmm. Like, it's simple if you just follow the money, but they don't want to. They want to believe that you don't, and it's just like it truly bothers me because they're trying to squeeze like storytelling out of something that doesn't have. Like, there's no meat on the bones. So I don't know what they're doing.
No, and I would understand hiring somebody and having somebody in charge that has a different experience. But at the end of the day, it's very clear and apparent that the people who are running this and putting out marketing and putting out promos and talking to investors probably have never picked up a game of Dungeons and Dragons in their entire life. They probably have not seen what it actually looks like, and for me that doesn't compute, right? I have that meme with the girl and the math symbols. It doesn't make sense to me because on some level, you yourself, if you're in charge, I would assume you need to understand how the thing that you're doing works.
Yeah.
But once again, I'm a public school teacher, so honestly, what do I know about anything? Because I'm in the worst industry currently.
No, I mean it's fine. The hard
Give me my
thing about
microtransactions.
this.
Listen, microtransactions in elementary.
You want to
Yo,
learn
can I pay-
science?
can I-
for science.
Can I pay you $30 for 200 teacher bucks, and that gives me 10 more minutes on a test, please? I would love that.
Absolutely.
Okay, here's the issue, right? It's like, teaching and the creative field that I'm in, and I was a high school teacher, so I feel you, right? It's like, we should be so thankful that we're doing a creative, quote unquote, or a creative, quote unquote, career, right? That we get to do stuff that's not like being in a fucking cubicle in an office and pushing papers around. But therefore, because of it, and this happens in media, this happens in news, and so many creative fields or soft science careers. I'm using this bullshit STEM language because there is no other one, but y'all know what I'm saying.
Pick up when you put it down.
Yeah. That like we need to be so thankful. So like, there's no way to defend the fact that like that someone should know what they're talking about, because it's like, well, we should just be happy that we get a salary at all while someone's trying to make money out of this dead thing. Right?
Yeah.
And we've seen this with blogging a lot over the last 10 years, everyone getting laid off and losing their jobs in magazines and newspapers, etc. So the weird thing about this is like the game, there's nothing wrong with the game. The game is good. The game is not a person. The game is just a structure for people to tell stories and play and do stuff. The people who work at Wizards, the writers and all those people who I'm saying aren't getting listened to, they also are people who want to work in a creative industry and deserve to have a job making tabletop RPGs. It's just like, as we get higher, we're not even talking about Wizards at this point. I think we are talking about the tippy top. But like, they're owned by Hasbro, which has a stock on the fucking stock exchange. Like, it all shakes down to that. So what we're looking at here is like, well, what do I do about this game? Play the game however you want to play it. Don't fucking give them don't give them your money. Vote with your not dollars. And like, pirate it and steal it as much as you want. And like, resist going and doing something just because someone tells you to, especially when it's a company,
Right. Yeah,
like,
no, I completely agree. Because, I feel like every month there's a new book. You can't come out with 100 books. They're, like, filling in for flavors instead of filling in a need. When I see how much they just produce all the time. And even their old stuff seems to be just copy and paste. I mean, Spelljammers, from what I've heard, was just, they switched a couple things, but everything is pretty copy-paste, and there you go. Sell another $30 or $60 for another book. Right. And
what
it
about all
tiresome.
the people who work there? I thought the whole point was that they were going to fix it. But then, like, we're saying Romani now. I guess that's it. Remember when we were all celebrating the fact that they didn't say that slur about those people that start with a G? Like, that was the best we were going to get? Who would have known? Or, wow, they don't say race anymore. They say species. Oh, my God. Like, I just don't want to expect anything from a corporation. And then, like, but that has nothing to do with what you do at your table. That's the mind-wrinkling thing of why I spent all that shit saying all that shit before. Dungeons & Dragons, the game, has nothing to do with Dungeons & Dragons, the company. And what you do at your game has nothing to do with Dungeons & Dragons, the company. Unless you're a fucking, like, stan, which I guess so. Like, I don't know. I still don't understand Marvel stans who, like, think they're Kevin Feige's like little brother or some shit. Like, I don't get it. But I mean, those people exist. I guess we want to stand in companies now. And if you want to, I guess, but like, it's not doing you any favors as a person.
That's I know the equivalent for like an Elon Musk stand.
Yeah. The Elon Musk stands, man. So yeah, it's like, I don't want to tell anyone to play a new game. But I think that, like, Dungeons & Dragons is trying to tell everyone that they're the end-all and be-all, and therefore deserve all of your money and is the only game that exists, and whatever they do is perfect and you should buy it. Like, that's not true. It's on
the cover. It's like, #1 tabletop RPG in the world. Like it advertises it on it.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
So, I mean, Yeah, it's like never give wizards a dollar, but like you can spend money buying dice, spend money buying third-party content, learn other games if you want to tell different types of stories. Again,
Right.
I know gets big numbies on Twitter when you say play any game other than the dragon game. Good, but like one, that's not how people work, and two, you got to give them a reason to play a new game. Like people have been playing this game, solely this game, for years, or maybe it's the only one that they've gotten into, and they need a reason to do something else. Maybe if you want to play a heist game, or you want to play a mech game, or you want to play like a specific other type of game from a Powered by the Apocalypse game, it can tell you, because all of them tell very specific stories. Like do that. But you got to give them a reason. You can't just say, we're not playing D&D anymore because Wizards is bad. That doesn't work. And that's why, like, the Democrats are still bad. Are bad, just as bad as everyone else, right? Because they just keep saying, well, we're right, so you got to stop doing it. Like, you got to give people a reason to mobilize. So if you're going to give them a reason, it's like, well, I would really want to tell this story where we play teenage superheroes. Then let's play Masks. And like, oh, I do want to play that game. Let's go do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can't just drop D&D cold because it's bad. Maybe the only way, or then it's like, oh, we're not playing D&D, we're playing Pathfinder now because it's better, and I think it's better, and it can do these better things for us. If we just learn it, and I teach you how to do it, and blah, blah, blah.
And that learning and that accessibility is so much easier with Dungeons and Dragons, right? You can Google search the DM handbook right now. You can find a PDF. I'm sure it's one of the top, I'm not even looking, I'm sure it's one of the top 5 picks on Google that you can get the PDF, the full-blown, on your computer for free. If not, and you have other friends that play Dungeons and Dragons, they have it on their computer. I remember passing it out in one of my freshman seminar classes when we were all playing. I was like, here is what you need to know. Here's the player's handbook. Like, it's easy and accessible. So I think I agree that taking Dungeons and Dragons out of it doesn't make sense. Separating it in my brain as like Dungeons and Dragons the game and then Dungeons and Dragons the corporation means that I can still play and enjoy this game, but they're going to try, it's going to seem like they are going to try to control what I'm doing, when you're correct. In all honesty, what happens at the table is between us. That's why house rules exist. That's why things like that happen. But I agree. I agree with everything, right? Yeah.
I think that thing you're saying about trying to separate is like, we're gonna go to game night or do table or play a role playing game, a TTRPG. It's separating that from Dungeons and Dragons. It's like saying, like, imagine that like Kleenex really would fine you $10 if you didn't call a tissue a Kleenex. It's like, well, then I'm never gonna buy Kleenex anymore. Like, I'm not gonna do that.
No, because Kleenex are superior brands. Like,
that's true.
I'm just use leftover takeout, okay? It's all I'm using now.
Like a goddamn working man. Absolutely, Adrian. Adrian's the fucking man of the people. The people's champ. Blowing their nose with old Chipotle napkins. Let's go.
You're just like, I need 3. Oh, I only needed 2. One's for later when I get a little sneezy.
When you open up your glove box and it just pops out, like,
hey, man, I didn't let you in my car. I don't know how you know that.
Now, I wonder what this is for my 2 teachers here, is like, so I don't even think that D&D is the most accessible game to teach someone. Do you find that there are other ways to teach people different games? Like, whether it's a one-pager or a different system? Like, what can we do, I guess, to facilitate this? I just think for me, it feels like I got to walk people through it. We got to do it together and then run like a sample bullshit game. Like, it does take investment, but I don't think any more than teaching someone D&D for the first time.
No, but I think the other problem comes into the way that, like, even our education system is set up. I have one expert in the room, and they know all of the rules. So everything I'm going to know or play off of is going to be off that one person who needs to know everything.
Right.
I learned through Pathfinder, which is adjacent to Dungeons and Dragons. And so I think for the way that I learned, I mean, I was just handed paper and said, hey, like, you're just going to do this, like, have a character, and then these are the numbers that we're going to run. So I think...
Sure.
I think having the expert in the room. Okay, so here's my brain is going in two different ways. I think having the expert in the room makes it easier for new learners because obviously that's what we do. That's how our education system is set up. Primary through secondary through college, right? Everybody does that. So I think it feels safe to have it like that. And with the almighty Wizards of the Coast, right? Like, you have to play this game right. Yeah. So obviously, if I have an expert, I'm going to play the game right because they know how to do it. But the other thing is that's real scary to be in a room talking about character feelings and playing maybe a more role-playing side of things. So we've got a lot of uncomfortable things going on. I'm learning a new structure. Maybe I'm not comfortable in reading very quickly. Numbers, I feel like I'm wasting people's time. And I'm trying to play this character that I'm not aware of because it's not me. It's not me. Right. Which your first character is always fucking you, so like...
Right. This is Eric, and he has a gun. That's it.
Magically, all of my worries are pushed away, and I'm just gonna light everything on fire. It's fine.
I don't have a gun here, Adrian. Don't worry. I am not. Don't worry.
I'm already imagining it, and it's too late. It's in my head.
Imagine I'm the best podcast guest. Tell him I'm the best podcast guest.
He's the best podcast guest.
That's right. You heard it.
Congeniality. And right there in San Antonio, and he has the gun, and I was like, "Goddamn Texas!" Like, I forgot. So, Eric, you having a gun means nothing to us because everybody has a gun in Texas.
Okay. I don't have a gun. That's not true.
I should have told you it was concealed. I should have told you it was concealed and carried. That's my fault. I brought it out. I should have made you feel more comfortable. No, that's an interesting point. Yeah, there's like there being like a quote unquote right way to play something, and how scary it is for someone to just like, hey, vibes, man, like whatever. I wonder if it's interesting for like Powered by the Apocalypse games, like Monster of the Week or Monster Hearts, where it's like you just kind of do stuff and the keeper calls on you to do the moves, which is quite interesting. But then again, you do need to know what's on your playbook to like
your move list.
Yeah, your move list. You do need to know your move list. So, which is again, it's a little less crunchy, a little more intuitive. But if that doesn't mean that you don't need to know it. So that's true. Yeah, I mean, the issue here is like this is different than Harry Potter, right? Like Harry Potter's a really good example. Is like we all know it. We all probably read it as a kid, right? But now as an adult, and as J.K. Rowling revels in her turfness, it's not even like, oh, wow, you're a jerk. It's like, no, she loves it. She fucking loves it when you call her.
Yes.
She loves it.
Stupid freaking tweet. What the fuck?
Yeah, exactly. So, like, even now, it's like, all right, well, I'm going to make a decision to not engage with the IP, right? I don't want to listen to it anymore. This doesn't do anything for me. I'm not going to recommend it. I'm not going to buy that video game. I'm not going to see any more movies, blah, 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 right? But that's because, like, there's the IP. It exists. Mm-hmm. With the game, yes, you cannot give any more money to Wizards of the Coast. You're not going to buy into whatever the fuck one D&D is. But, like, there's such a larger lift of trying to do something, trying to do another game. If you don't, like with Harry Potter, you can just hit shit out of people's hands. You can remind them that every time we say Harry Potter's good, we give J.K. Rowling one more like HP buff. Like you can definitely get people around you to not do it, but like it's like you need to make a group decision with your game table to play a new game and to throw yourself into the unknown. Like, you're not throwing yourself into the unknown by reading a different book, but you sure are doing it if you're trying to, like, come up with a new structure for this, like, imagination time that we all play with each other when we pick up a thing. It's a lot scarier. And I'm not even telling someone to play the game. It's just like, can you play the game in a way that is resistant to what a corporation that makes money off the game you're playing wants you to do? You know, it's like playing a freemium game without buying anything. Like,
Yes.
how resistant are you to people giving you what you want in exchange for money? It's tough. It's definitely tough.
I will admit that one way that I feel more confident playing different games is honestly finding the different games through podcasts. So,
Yes.
Listening to y'all's campaign this summer, I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that's how a fucking playbook works. Because we played, what did we play?
Thirsty Swords Lesbians.
Yes. And
Yeah.
I was like, I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. It says that I'm doing this
Same
thing.
here. It was fun, though.
And so, like, thinking about that and then playing or listening to campaign, I think I could have played this game again in a different way, but that's how I learn. I have to learn by doing. I have to learn by watching other people play. So I think going in and understanding how you need to process something really helps in what you do. If you do your own homebrew content, if you do somebody else's homebrew content, if you just pick up a different system. There are plenty of opportunities, fortunately, in this connected world that we have. You can see somebody doing it and, remembering that we're all people and that if you ask a question, somebody's probably going to answer. And if you don't get an answer, then you don't need to support them anymore. You can go find a different creator that will help. Like, we're all in this together. We're all trying to learn and try to be better people. Most of us are trying to learn and be better people. Like, I'm sorry, but
no, it's fair. It's fair. I mean, thank you. I really appreciate that. We spent a lot of time running a Monster of the Week game and making sure that it was like what we wanted to do, and holding it up and joining the party is always a place for people to learn games and see it's not so scary and it's fun. So we were really important to do that for our Monster of the Week game. It's hard to find someone who's willing to be like easy to understand, and also know what they're doing. Whenever the McElroys get their hands on a game system, it sure turns into something else that it is not supposed to be. I also think that maybe I inherited this from Austin Walker of Friends at the Table, where like you do need someone who has or styles themselves to have a master's degree in game theory. Like the theory of narrative storytelling and games,
Right.
to understand what the game is getting at. And that was my job. So to what you said as well, like you do need an expert in the room, Alex, to teach the other people. Like, for example, is like, how difficult it is for me to get across of like Monster of the Week tells a story of a television show. Like we are doing an X-Files episode, and like they might write that as beautifully as possible on the page, but that needs to be consistently and constantly reinforced about the type of game we're playing and what kind of mindset we want to keep ourselves in. And then at the same time is like, well, how do the mechanics then bear that out? Well, for Monster of the Week, it's okay when you fail. You get experience. When you roll a failed die. You are like led down the garden path of you confronting dangerous things. It's not about fighting the monster. It's more about figuring out the like secret behind the monster that reveals its secret weakness. Blah blah blah. That like you really got to think of it like it's an episode of Gravity Falls or X-Files or something like that.
Right.
But teaching that to someone else, consistent and constant reinforcing, and seeing if anyone gets that who is decidedly not the expert in the room. Like, I don't know if even my players understood like how tabletop RPG do, how mechanics bear out storytelling. They're just like playing the game and having fun and doing stuff. So it's like, it's kind of trying to get them to understand what you're doing. Like in teaching. You want people to understand the theory more than regurgitating facts or numbers back to you. And like that really is the difficult part. I think understanding that Dungeons and Dragons is a game that tells one epic stories, like in the Greek classical epic stories, and two, stories that involve violence are important to understand, because then it's like, all right, well, am I going to play a game that does not have any violence in it, that does not, I will never roll an attack roll? Is this the game for me? No, probably not. Am I going to tell a very small story? Maybe one that's like purely role play, that's about like, I don't know, that's like slice of life-ish? Maybe not. Maybe that's not the game. Maybe this isn't the game for you. You should play Kids on Bikes, or you should play Wander Home, or you should play for a smaller type of story. And if you want to tell something that doesn't have violence in it, there's plenty of other stories that like are in games that like involve, Monster Hearts is a good one. Is like, you don't hurt each other, but you turn each other on, you incite feelings, you hurt each other emotionally, and it's wondering what those things are. But like, people don't know that because the marketing of the machine says no, play Dungeons and Dragons.
Right.
And it's tough. It's tough. It's really hard to shake. And like I have all these caveats now because it's like I got to change someone's entire mindset when we're just fucking sitting down to play and eat some pizza on a Saturday. I was thinking about this when I was planning my wedding this year. Is like, Amanda and I both work for ourselves. My wife Amanda, we both work full time as podcasters. So we got to plan our wedding sometimes during the day, right? And even while we were doing it, we are organized. We work together. We started a business together. There were times I turned to her and I said, I cannot believe that someone would have to do this like on a Sunday. And like, this is my time that I get away from the office and my one day free. Imagine if they had kids too. Like, let's say you have kids and you're not married and you're planning a wedding. Like, imagine I have to do this on a Sunday. And yeah, I can see why this is the fucking hardest thing to do. And you fight and you get in each other's business. It's exactly the same thing of like, are you really going to tell someone who only has who carved this 3 hours, getting away from their kid, maybe they have a babysitter, maybe their partner is dealing with their children, or that this is the only day they can have off of work, and you're like, hey, I'm going to teach you a new game system because Wizard of the Coast is racist, is bad. Like, am I going to do that? I feel very conflicted because like, I'm a human and I don't want to do that to my friend.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then I can also see balancing with your new system. How right are you playing it? And are you trying to play it to the letter of the law? Or are you there to have a good time? And maybe if it's not done perfectly, that's still okay. And we're all still just having a good time. But like, the burnout, gifted, talented kid wants to play it right and wants to do it. So I think we don't give a lot of thought to playing, I think, Dungeons and Dragons or any tabletop RPG, because it does take a lot of decision making and it does take a lot of cooperation. And I think the people who play it and talk about it, in forums like this, we understand that it's a bigger issue, right? Okay, at our table, we don't say the G word when we play Curse of Strahd. Like, we know that.
Sure.
We, the people, know that. So I going back to the beginning of the conversation, how do we get through that, still love and play the game, but how do we also convey those emotions to the corporation who does not care about us, the players?
Yeah.
I mean, I've been slow. Like, I stopped buying books a long time ago.
Yes.
Mainly for the fact that, like, I mean, what are they going to give me that I don't already have? Or my players want to play something that, isn't the same cookie cutter experience that everyone's having, Yes, I started off with Curse of Strahd, but I didn't keep it to the letter T, you know? Like, I had to change it up because it wasn't the story that I wanted to be. Like, it's a template. It's not the thing, It's not the whole thing, so now I'm in my own like homebrew world, and it's like there are no, you know, everyone's like, is this species allowed? I'm like, yeah, they're all allowed. They're all there. I'm not gonna do any, no slavery, no like apartheid. Like I'm keeping everyone mixed. Everyone's there. Okay, that's what the story I'm trying to tell. I'm trying to tell a story about like other concepts, not like that don't involve race, because I want there to be Warforged and Turtles and everything there, and also I don't like limitations on my players, so I want them to have fun with it.
Yeah, I also think that like maybe this is being terminally online brain. Like, Adrian, no one's gonna come to your house and like kick in your door and being like, "Hey, are you calling shit species in here?" Like, is like this isn't. There's no PC police. And I'm not saying that because I'm turning you all into a right-wing podcast right now. Right-wing podcast, I'm Ben Shapiro. I've been Ben Shapiro the whole time. It's just like, we need to give ourselves a little more grace to just be humans. Because what the corporation's trying to do is turn us into a monolith of consumers. But instead, we are experiencing the whole this whole breadth of experience, and you could play the way you want to play at your table. I'm not saying keep all the slurs in your game because it's your table.
Damn it, Eric. That's what I got from that whole thing. That's what I got.
Like, but it's playing. Oh. It's playing the best way you can with what you have. Yeah. And I wouldn't even say doing your best. That's not even what I'm getting at. It's like, let's tell a story that doesn't. The only thing you're trying to do is like tell a story that, one, you're interested in, but two, that doesn't hurt anyone at the table, because you find these stories trite and unfun. Like, that's a good enough reason to do anything. Mm-hmm. And if you think that the books that they're putting out are trite and unfun, then that's fine. That's why I don't buy that shit. That's why I don't buy the produced stuff that they do. Or maybe I could turn into a buccaneer and just surf on the internet,
Yeah. Yeah, but also, like, we've got friends that have come on the pod and, like, this is our stuff. What friends? We mean Mason. I'll fight you. Me and Mason are friends now. Mason is like bro flirting with me, okay? And I really love it. It makes me feel cozy inside.
Yeah. It's not bro flirting. He's just flirting, okay? Why do you have to... It's
listen,
just humans, I cannot tell. Humans.
Can I take a quick detour on this, Adrian? Because I want to run this by you. So recently, we were talking about Moby Dick, and I was bringing up homosocialism. I don't know if you've heard of that before.
No,
it's a literary analysis of men character relationships, and also men in real life. There was like, we're not talking about homosexual relationships or tendencies or queer baiting or whatever. It's just like the way that guys talk to each other when they're friends has a certain texture and context around it. Like, for example, in Moby Dick, when Ishmael and Queequeg sleep in the same bed, they're doing it because they have to, not because they want to kiss, but then like their closeness and the hilarious like relationship that gets built because it's like, oh bro, you snore when we were sleeping in the same bed together is called homosocialism. Like what you see in a Judd Apatow movie, like in the beginning of Knocked Up. And the other thing, I started watching Game Grumps a lot lately just because I needed another thing to get to, and the number of times they talk about like they are such good friends and how much they talk about sucking each other's dick is so frequent and a lot. So like the bro flirting that's true, 100% true. It's such a real thing, and I just want to shout that out quickly.
Okay, so like with my close friends, I definitely do what the Game Grumps do. And I take it as far as I guess they can't handle it for the most part. And I'm just like, listen, man, I love you, man. Whatever you need, man, I will come to your house, suck you off, whatever you fucking need.
Yeah,
okay?
It's like, you beat me at Mario Kart. I'm so mad I could just fucking kiss you a lot in the mouth.
Y'all don't just do that? Like, y'all don't just... You don't just snuggle?
I'm chronically online. I can't kiss anybody.
It's more funny. With guys, it's more of a threat. It's a funny threat. So
Yes, yes.
that was just like, I've been thinking about that a lot, so that triggered in my brain.
It is. But
you were talking about third-party
it's
creators, yeah.
Yeah. Like their work's pretty good, and they're more aware about what they want to be putting out there, because they don't want that like hurt or with that into their content. They want to be their content be just like that's all they want. Like they want like, oh, this sucks because of this ability, not this sucks because you're fucking up, like you're being racist. You know,
Right.
That's what the hate they want. And also like how they work with other creators that are in the space. Like I feel like they have a better finger on the pulse of the community than the corporate yes men.
Sure.
And I love supporting them and watching them just thrive. So yeah, third party all the way.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of interesting stuff coming out from third-party folks, and I think it's also telling of what we said about the open gaming license, that, like, Wizards wants to monetize on the backs of people who are using something that's been in the code of Dungeons and Dragons for years, since it got started in the 70s. So it's funny they're talking about like the open gaming license 1.1 because it really hasn't been updated since the 70s. It's like, oh yeah, we're just going to 1.1 in 2023. Yeah, that's it. It's like, no, you're fundamentally changing it so you can make more money. It's like they're turning it into Twitch. The splits and all that stuff feel like something that Twitch would do, and it's like, they're trying to put other business models on the thing they have, and like the thing you have is special and different, but corporations only know profit. We can't just be happy with what we have and build a creative product. They want dollars from it. Yeah.
The only thing they speak is money. It's like, oh fuck, I can only buy half a yacht. Okay, like I gotta be able to buy a full yacht every month.
It's not
like,
Adrian. It's like, hey, I can only buy 2 yachts instead of 3. That's really a big fucking bummer for me. Yeah, and it always just feels so dispiriting when we're talking about a creative product. It's like, we're here. I'm selling my books of my game where I can pretend to be a dwarf with a hammer. Like, and that's what's wild, and that's what I don't understand about trying to make like movies and IP on this stuff. Like the Dungeons and Dragons movie coming out, this pastiche of this like combination, this scattershot of high fantasy terms that they're calling Dungeons and Dragons, like bard, and you say bard, wizard, warlock, fighter, archer, elf. Enough, I guess that is Dungeons and Dragons. Like, what? I don't even know what the plot of the movie is going to be. It's just going to be some some gesture at the high fantasy genre with a brand slapped on it. Like, there's no IP there. I guess you can't even call it like Bahamut or like the gods or some of the shit that they've come up with, because that's just pulled from mythology. So like, I don't know what there is. What did they make that is intellectual? What is the intellectual of the property?
I
get that 100%
from my brain. That's the
I just read it on some book that was covered in dust and said Mythology 101.
It came to me in a dream.
It's ridiculous because everything's like their basis is built off something, right? Like other properties, like you said at the very beginning about like, hey, the Tolkien estate said, hey, fuck off, stop doing that.
Yeah, it was so funny. I had this written somewhere. I know that the thing we were going to talk about originally was like was like all this stuff about Jews and Dungeons and Dragons, but it's like at this point I'm like, I don't even care. The thing that bothers me is that they're making money off of this stuff. It's like they're selling my own want to tell a story back to me, and that makes me feel like a fucking idiot.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
Capitalism is always the villain. Every single time.
Yeah.
I can't wait till it all falls apart.
Or it doesn't. And that's the hard part, is it might not. Hasbro is I mean,
late stage capitalism
well,
has a problem. I'm gonna say right now.
I mean, but like that company itself, right? It holds so much. There's, at what point? Yes, it would be great to watch it tumble. Yes, it would be great to watch all these things fall, right? Yes, I would love to see JK have whatever karma she's throwing, like, just around and spiff. I would love that to come back to her. I would love it. But honestly, I'm just cynical enough that I can't even wait for it to happen. I can't even wait, right? For any of these people to get the thing that we think they deserve. Maybe they don't.
The comeuppance.
Yeah, maybe it's just the curse of the millennial. I don't know what it is, but I just don't.
Yeah, the 2000s really fucked us.
I'm tired of waiting for people to get what they deserve, and they don't.
Yeah.
Then, like,
listen, I'm on guillotine making in your backyard TikTok somehow. Just FYI. Just FYI.
I wonder. Yeah, I was saying before I was trying to be empathetic to like my friends and being like, "Oh no, it's fine. We'll like play the game that you know how to play." But I think it might be worth it to outline kind of what I was saying before. Is like, Dungeons and Dragons isn't the be all end all. Like, it's not the game. Mm-hmm. Maybe it is too crunchy for our table. Maybe it's too crunchy for our tabletop friends. Maybe it's not crunchy enough. Maybe you want to play a mech, so we should play Lancer. Or maybe we want to just be silly, and maybe we should just play some one-pagers from Grant Howitt. Like, maybe we could play board games instead. Like, I don't know. I don't, and like role play around that as we do it. I think that it doesn't need Dungeons and Dragons. To me, is pretty hard to get into. I'm trying to remember the first time that I did it. I had to read the book backwards and forwards many times, and like really try to get my head around it. And only now do I think I'm doing something like interesting and original with my D&D stuff, right? Like really pushing the boundaries and trying to tell interesting story and coming up with new game mechanics. Like I'm, turning myself into a game designer on the fly. So it's like maybe it is worth it to learn a new game or to change something so fundamentally to make it good for you. Like that's what I want to push on a little bit. Is like, you know more about what's good for you and what makes you have fun than a corporation is telling you is going to be fun for you. So you want to keep playing D&D, do it. And put in whatever third-party shit you want and do whatever you want, blah, blah, blah. But just know that maybe there'll be a better thing for you somewhere else. And maybe you do need someone to introduce it to you. Like, maybe there is someone, and maybe you do like learning new games, Like, it's not always that thing. I think I might have, like, spiraled too hard to the left and been like, or it's all for naught, It's like we can't change. Maybe I got a little bit too in my feelings about that, but I think that like there's something you just gotta like have confidence in yourself that the thing you want is not going to be packaged. You gotta find it, and maybe you'll learn it in a different way.
Yeah, I think that like getting people into the game for me, in my experience, is I've been the zealot that was like, I'm going to teach you everything. Yeah. So, and I have to be that character for if I want people to get into all these other games. So, like, I've been playing a lot of 10 Candles and all this other stuff. So, like, I have to be the change I want to see. So, like, I have to learn a new system and then be that zealot for somebody. Like, listen, Masquerade, let's try it out. Let's try it out because I've read this much of the book. And I need to know what kind of questions you're going to have because I'm not ready as a DM. I crash and burn all my sessions. I know it's not Alex's way. Alex is, take notes, read everything. Mine's like, I've read a fifth of the book. I'm good enough to run you for most of this. Everything else, I'm just going to wiggle my imaginary fingers, or real fingers, and say, yes, that works. No, it doesn't. We'll come back to it later. We'll read about it later. Let's just play. Like that's how I play. It's rough, tough, and just like on the fly.
Yeah. Well, and there's a real
that's
part.
Fun for me.
Right. That's the real part. I overread everything because that's what I do for literally any aspect of my life. Anything I do, for me to feel prepared, I look and read everything, and then I'm like, okay, then I'm ready. When I could probably take something out of Adrian's book and say, fuck it, who gives a shit? Let's just do it. Like I don't have to have all the answers.
We're playing pretend.
We're playing pretend, but even like when I was like, there were always rules when I played pretend. You can't get out of the water because we're playing mermaids and you don't have legs. Like you have a tail. Like
yeah.
So
you need rules. You need rules on your pretend. That's it's good.
Yeah. So knowing, right, going back to knowing yourself and knowing what you need to get out of a game, but also listening to what else is happening in the space. Adrian says, fuck the rule book. I could probably say fuck the rule book. Like when Adrian says like he just does it. Anytime I've played with him in something new or watched him, it's not like I watch it crash and burn. There's no like crash and burning. It never happens. He may feel like it goes off the rails, but as a player, as a watcher, I have never actually seen it go off the rails. I even me playing, that's the trick. I mean, fuck it. Who gives a shit is really what we should just go into 2023 with.
Yeah. No, it's true. It's like no one's watching. You're not recording it unless you are recording it, and then you're recording it. Like you just like we're just trying to have fun here. Yeah, that's the thing. Just do the thing that's fun, I think is what it comes down to. And if you can avoid I think that's what that's what I'm trying to get at is like it's just because a company is shoving you towards something, you got to think about if it's what you want before you give them the money. I think it's more about mindfulness, right? More than anything else. Just like, is this what I want? Am I being pandered to? Do I want to do what works for them? That's what it is. And like marketing is supposed to take that shit out of your mind. Be like, we're just here to have fun. We're just playing a game. The fact that Hasbro is trying to monetize having fun and playing a game and turn that into a fucking 4-quadrant IP is wild. But, that doesn't have anything to do with you.
No.
Yeah. It was mindfulness the whole time. It was knowing yourself. God damn it.
Always knowing.
It was going to therapy.
It's the only way we can fight capitalism is mindfulness.
It's going to therapy and then buying a rock that helps us define our mindfulness.
I'm sorry.
It's crystals. It's been crystals.
No.
It's been crystals all along.
My teacher bestie gave me a present for Christmas today and gave me 2 worry stones, one in ring form and one in necklace form. And I was like, I don't know what you're trying to tell me right now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's always crystals.
And that makes me more worried.
We put it on immediately.
I bought myself a piece of obsidian that was in the shape of Snorlax. And I don't believe in crystals, but I sure do love holding the Snorlax. And theoretically, it's going to take all the bad feelings and just go to the Snorlax instead because it's obsidian.
That's so beautiful.
I don't believe in that shit, but I sure do like holding it, and that's fine.
It's just as good.
I have a singing bowl in my room to like help get attention and like give the kids like a moment of peacefulness.
Oh, that's cool.
Right?
Yeah.
I am the crunchy munchy art teacher that Texas government is afraid of. But right. So
you're the woke I've heard so much about. Oh, nice.
It's me.
What's your color of your hair? Is that blue in your hair?
Oh my god.
What else? Okay, so I had this bowl. I had one class that was just being a little ornery. They're pretty regularly just ornery. And right, the mindful bowl, it's supposed to release some of the negativity in your body. And one of the kids was like, it hurts me. And I was like, internally, I was like, don't say it out loud. Don't say it out loud. Like, why it hurts? It hurts because it's all the negativity leaving your body. And evidently you have so much of it that it's painful. And I just thought it. That's it. That's my crunchy munchy crystal holding.
Yeah. It hurts me, dear Lord.
I know it's fair.
Anymore. I'm just
that's good.
correlation.
I get the bowl worked in mysterious ways and removed that kid out of your class.
Correlation, causation. It's the same.
to say. Yeah.
Yeah, Eric has negativity releasing his body because he has a Snorlax. I don't.
Yeah, the Snorlax takes it in, and he levels up because of it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I guess like the thing that I wanted to take away when I was worried we were doing this, like 3/4 of the way through the episode, is like I just don't want this to turn into discourse and then it goes away. You know, like, oh, Wizard of the Coast is racist. Oh, they're bad. Oh, they're blah blah blah.
The weekly experience of us all.
Yeah, it's like I don't want to just like talk about it and then either like we boycott it or we don't, and we feel bad that we keep doing something that's quote unquote problematic. It's like, you know, this is so much more simple, right? It's like we're not voting for president. We're trying to decide what to do on Sunday, and like it's so much that gives us the smallness of this decision gives us so much more choice. For me, making a show about it. Yeah, it's a little bit more weighty because it's my livelihood and whether it's what I want to put out there in the world and whatever. But, like, not for people who are just playing the game. And listen, I'm making the choices that I need to make the game and the story what I want. And I feel I stand by that and I feel good about that. But, you know, I thought about it for a long time. Like, don't just throw yourself into it. Or don't throw yourself into it because the discourse said so. Like, you know, it's just a game. Just figure out what you like to do and how you like to play.
Eric, do you have a game outside of recording? Do you have like a personal game?
I had some. I'm not running one right now just because, you know, things go in and out. I had a Dungeons & Dragons game that I played with a bunch of folks who made actual play content and podcasts. And we made a joke the entire time that, like, we're so glad we're not recording, and we're so glad we're not doing it, and we're just, like, fucking around. And it's, like, it's the most I've ever felt like an athlete in my life. I felt like I was, like, putting up weights or running, like, basketball games in a gym, you know? Like, just getting reps in, you know? So that was fun. I learned how to play actual Powered by the Apocalypse games from games I played with some friends in Chicago. Like, I played a Masks game for a really long time, which was really fun. So I don't have one now, but I have done a few before. And I was like, I just like talking about homebrew and stuff with like some friends who like I consult quote unquote with them about joining the party, but it's really just like DMs and GMs bouncing shit off of each other, which is fun. But you know, yeah, I find that fun. The thing I said about like, oh, some people don't like learning games. I love learning games. Like someone suggested to me that we could play Lancer. Like someone would run a game of Lancer for me, which is just like mech battles and shit. And I'm like, I would fucking love to learn a new game system for sure. I guess I just don't want to be the teacher anymore. Like I don't want to be up at the front of the class. And so like I want someone to lead me in this, and then I can be a star pupil, right? Is like, isn't that all teachers want to do? Is be the star pupil again? Like, make it as easy as possible for the teacher in front, and like that's what I really want to do, and I miss.
Well, see, there's just one more takeaway. If you are a player and you are always a player, then maybe be the leader. And if you are always the leader, like encourage your players to become the leaders, and then you don't always have to do it. But unless you love it, then you can always be the leader.
We're not yucking your yums.
Nope.
Yeah.
No.
Can I say something really shady for a second?
On this podcast, never.
I love it.
No. This is not about those two games that I've played before. This is not what I'm talking about. But it sure does help when you have a forever DM. Definitely do something else or go and play in different games, because then you can accurately depict of whether your DM is good and or not. I went and I played at other stuff, and I felt really good about myself. And like, I'm really good at this, you know? I think that I'm good, and it was nice seeing other players like go and play in other games, be like, wow, my DM was really, in my first game, is really good. Like, they're much better than this guy. So it's like, definitely allow, just for everyone's context, play in multiple games and make sure to tell the person who's good at it that they're good at it. I've also decided that I'm going to do a full heel turn in 2023, and I've already just started telling people I'm the best GM in podcasting, because one, I am, but two, I just got to keep saying it because the discourse doesn't flow my way necessarily. I'm not I didn't build my house on the side of the Discord Nile. Like, I'm not close enough to it, so I'm just saying it for myself that I'm the best GM in podcasting. It's 100% true.
Listen, no one here is going to tell you otherwise. the fangirl.
Oh, I
mean,
am. I'm the
Adrian,
best. I'm the best GM in podcast history. I don't even know why it's a question.
Let me just step
That's
away
fair.
from this dick swinging contest.
That's fine. I'm glad you think that. I'm the best DM in podcasting, so I'm just gonna.
See,
that's just what it is.
That's all it is.
You can say it too.
I mean,
I'm just really embracing my heel turn. I'm like, good, great. I'm glad you said that. Unfortunately, it's not true because that's me.
Listen, everyone just like, who do you look up to? And I'm like, no,
Myself.
because I'm the best GM for my table, and that's all that matters, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna be there for if you're catering to your table. That's all that fucking matters, okay? And that's how you become the best GM. Okay,
I look up to myself because I've done a lot of work and I'm fucking crushing it right now.
yes, exactly.
So I'm going to incorporate that. That's really good. I'm going to ask myself the question, who do I look up to? That's really good.
It's me. And if it's not me, he's dead. Okay?
I murdered him with my gun. That's how I know. I know someone said I started doing this at PAX Unplugged, which we went to, which was fucking awesome. God, seeing people in person was the best. We went to PAX Unplugged, the not video game convention that was in Philadelphia recently, and I started saying it. It felt so good. And someone was like, well, what about like Matt Mercer and Brunelly Mulligan? I'm like, those idiots have video. That makes them better. I don't count myself around them. I'm the best GM in podcasting. It's like they have figurines. I don't have figurines. Figurines automatically make you better. I don't have that shit.
You're not wrong though. Like that's the like yeah, you are gonna be the best if you say you're the best. Like
here, what here, let me also do something. I'm the best GM that doesn't have a marketing team, okay, on podcasting.
I'm the most underground GM. Like you've never even heard of me, but I'm the best.
You've never even heard my name uttered in the English language.
You know, like the Velvet Underground, how everyone who heard them started a band? It's like everyone who plays with me then becomes a GM because they're so inspired by me. It's like that.
And they start their own podcast, which is somehow gets more successful than me, but whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I have to keep the underground going.
Yeah,
no one's going to hold this spot down.
I have to stay under the radar, and then people will know. Then I'll blow up my whole shit. Well, then I'm going to sell out. I just record myself. I just put it out. I put it out on CDs. That's how I do it. So you can't track
them
the
out
numbers.
at bus stations.
Yeah, it's like my mixtape, but it's my podcast.
No one has CD players anymore, but they look at me funny.
Yeah, I don't look at my downloads because I only give out my podcast on CDs. Yeah, and cassettes.
I've burned so many CDs, like 30.
That's a lot of downloads.
Adrian, you are
That's
a
a lot of
baby.
streams.
You are a baby. You are talking to people.
Keep calling me
You
a
are
baby.
a baby in the LA Burn CDs. Sure, awesome. I bet you did. I don't know if Eric did. I recorded from the tape, and I had the tape, so I knew what I was doing when they gave me the computer and said, "Here, take this CD and make a mixtape on it," and then pass out those CDs that are completely covered in Sharpie to the friends that you have around you that have been expertly put together. So as much as I love and I appreciate you and your babiness, we were there when the magic was forged with already skills ready to go. And you just gave us the new
I was
medium.
not there. I wasn't there for the tape part. I'm sorry. I never had that, but I sure did teach myself really quickly how to burn mixes, and we had like a printer. We had like sticker paper, like from Avery.
You're so
and
rich.
Oh yeah. And then my dad would print out, it would be me and my brother, so it would be Eric and Tyler, the mix masters, as we did a new playlist on a CD. It was fucking tight.
Hell yeah.
I was reminded.
So I just got really into burning CDs.
Listen, I was reminded a couple months ago that I made like a 10 CD compilation for a friend of mine who I don't talk to anymore. Like it was a passing. He was like,
Sure.
"You gave me 10 CDs when my grandmother died." And I was like, "I don't know what to do. I was amazing. I don't know what happened." But at one point,
I was
I'm
a
a hero.
technological genius.
Were
I
you
hacked
giving
the
out the
mainframe.
best of the 70s? What the fuck? 10 CDs? That's incredible. Can I pay for that with a money order? Fuck.
we were part of it was theater kids, right? So like it had its moods, like
Oh, yeah.
songs when you feel like crying, songs when you need a smile, songs when you want to be angry, and then like show tunes.
Sure. 6 of those CDs were just show tunes.
The best of the best, only for my friends.
Yeah.
Sorry, Adrian. I didn't
Gosh,
mean
I'll
to
let
put
you
down
know when
like
my
that.
grandma dies.
That's fine. Was-
Expect CDs.
Hey, was this what you two wanted? Was this good?
Is it...
It was the best.
This is our podcast. It's always going to be good, okay? It might not be the thing we aimed for, but it's still something.
It's not Lightning McQueen.
It isn't Lightning McQueen, no.
We had
Which was also chaotic.
Eric. We had a whole episode.
But every time we have a returning guest, it just goes off the fucking rails. And I love it, because we're just less formal. It's more like, let me tell you this one thing that happened the other day, because it kind of associates it a little bit.
That's how friendship is made.
That's true.
Yeah, pretty much.
Ew.
What did you...
Ew.
Yeah, guys.
Ugh.
Nah.
People.
All right.
This was all on
Anything
topic.
else,
I just kind of poured out of me. This was theoretically one of the topics you wanted to
Do
talk
you
about.
feel better though? I mean,
Yeah,
it
that
did
is
pour
true.
out of you. Do you feel better? Do you feel more relieved that it's out in the open?
I'm glad. I want to keep saying it, so I'm glad that I said it one more time. So, it's like just practicing. Like, I want to keep... This is important. This shit is important to talk about. And I guess, like, it's that thing that I said, I didn't realize how much I wanted that, like, not to lose it in the discourse. Because, again, where we started is, like, the thing about TikTok is, like, one, it's a psyop by the Chinese to make Americans dumber. Fair. Good job,
It's
guys. You
working.
crushed it.
Yep.
Second, everything stays on TikTok. Like, it doesn't leave. Whether we're talking about people clicking on links and leaving, or, like, talking about it out in the real world. Like, no one looks at a TikTok and then writes to their representative, they just they stay in the online discourse. And that's the thing. I just don't want some of this stuff to get stuck online, because it's people's real lives. It's the real game. It's real money. It's real jobs when it comes to the third party people who are going to be making, like, people's real lives making this stuff forever. Or people's real lives, like, making this as a career. I hope people take that to heart when they're literally doing this for real.
The next
Like
step.
the players. Yeah, the players, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There needs to be a step 2.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Guillotines.
Don't just information gather and then never play a game. Don't do that.
No.
Yeah, no. I mean, I feel like I'm trying my best to actively be present in that kind of... Sorry. Let me repeat that, because I hit my mic. I feel like I'm trying to be... Stop it. Present in...
Sorry, can you take that again?
In this discourse as... This is going in the front. This is a cold open.
We had a cold open though. We did that.
Sometimes it's good. Sometimes
double cold open.
It's.
So hold on. Sorry, Adrian. I hit my mic. Can you restart?
I can clean this track. I don't need to wait for
Editing,
everybody.
Adrian, have fun with that.
Freaking cats! Just
Oh, he's so cute.
show me this. Show me the Snorlax. I don't know if
Is
you
it
have-
there?
No, it's at the office. Sorry.
Ah,
No.
No, this is just Kirby. That's just Kerbo.
unfortunate. Just Kirby.
Okay. I don't even know what I was saying. Fuck it.
I don't remember what you were saying either. Just because I was so distracted with your shirt, that I'm trying to figure out what it said, and then I think it says Dungeon Master, but then I was like, what else could it say?
It does.
What else could be there?
It will. Yeah, Dave got it. Custom made it for me. Probably used a template, but custom made it for me. It says the year of the first real game of D&D I played. 2012.
That's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, I'm done. I'm out. I shut off my shirt. Alex, any more questions?
Eric, why are you the best DM on podcasting?
I played other games. I'm a pretty good player as well when I'm not DMing. Yeah, the show I Join the Party is a really good show. I'm a producer. I don't just do Dungeons and Dragons content. I'm a producer of podcasts. So I think that's why I'm the best DM in podcasting. Because I am also.
Because you are.
Yeah.
I mean, listen. Long-time listener. Second-time talker.
Sorry, that's on me. Hey, where can I find you, Eric?
Me?
Little old you.
Yeah.
You can find me on the internet at L_Silvero, EL_SALVERO. My name, if I was a Lucha Libre wrestler, I'm on Twitter and Instagram, and out there on the internet. But you can listen to all the shows that I produce. You Join the Party and Games and Feelings. And I have a new show coming out in February. Probably I'll be producing another show in 2023. I'm going to be producing 4 podcasts. It's going to be the best. But just find me there, man. And all the shows there. I'm the head of creative in Multitude. Multitude is a podcast collective studio and ad sales service. And we're fucking good at podcasts. And I'm not afraid to say it.
Can also confirm.
Hell yeah. Now we're good.
Thank you, dear listener, for joining us on another episode of Dungeons and Degrees. You can continue to join all of our antics on all of the social medias at Dungeon and Degrees. It should be the same everywhere. You can also just Google search it. I don't know if you know, but you could just Google search anything. So just try it. Maybe once. I don't know. We also have a Discord server, and if that's all not enough for you, it's too free, and you want those hard-earned dollars to go to a small, blossoming, wonderful podcast that you just love and just tickles you just in the right way, but not in a creepy way, just in the perfect tickling kind of way.
Sure.
Right? You can join us at...
I want to be tickled. That sounds great.
I don't mind it. Is that weird to say? I don't. That was, maybe cut that part. Cuz a female in a D&D space saying I like being tickled. I don't. Have fun editing, Adrian. You can join us on our Patreon at Dungeons and Degrees. Benefits include early episodes, one-shots, stickers, things. I may be sending stuff out for the turn of the year, because obviously it's too late for Christmas, or any sort of holiday that you may celebrate, and the happy winter solstice time of recording. It's fine. Do it. It's a great time. Adrian and I are growing and blossoming. 2023 is the year for Dungeons and Degrees. So if you get in early, you'll get in all the benefits. If you join later when we're big, then you got to pay. You got to pay to play. I'm done. It got away with me.
Okay. It's okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for listening. My name's Adrian.
And I'm Alex.
I'm Eric. Don't hit your microphone.
Go have some fun.
Oh, no, hold on. Sorry, I hit my microphone. Hold on.
Meow, 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 meow.
Oh, I hit my screen. No.